Hello and welcome. Welcome, welcome to tSQLt Live DevOps Edition. If you are looking to learn more about DevOps, Data Platform DevOps, or DevSecOps, you have come to the right place. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. In this video series, I'm talking about what DevOps is, why it is important, how to get started, and also some more advanced topics. So no matter where you are in your DevOps journey, there's something for you in here. With that, let's get right into it. And today's topic is branching strategies for version control. And that's an opinion. That's my opinion as to what is a really good branching strategy, but you certainly can go with another one. What I'm going to do is tell you what my branching strategy is and then why I came up with it, which is really not my idea, but why I really like this branching strategy. But first, let's review what the goals of version control are. Why do we do this? We talked about that in yesterday's video. And really what the goals are is you want to have the history of your changes to your source code. You want traceability. Who did it? When did it happen? Why did it happen? You want to be able to do concurrency, meaning two developers working on the code, preferably the same code if possible, at the same time. You want those developers to be isolated from each other. If one of them breaks test cases, the other one can still continue with those test cases working in their environment. And you want documentation, which kind of goes back to history and traceability. Documentation as to what the thought process was that went into this. So with that, this is what my branching strategy looks like. You have a main branch where the release-ready versions of your software get stored. Then you have a release branch where actual releases get pulled from. Then you do the development on feature branches where you basically make a copy of the main branch into the feature branch, do your development, and then do a pull request to get them merged back into the main branch. And those feature branches, as well as bug fix branches, are linked to a ticket in your ticketing system, which gives nice traceability. It not only tells you what happened, but really what led to that change, which is usually a change request, a feature request, or a bug report. So how did we get here? Why do I think this is a good idea? When you just get into software development, when you just get started with version control, your development process might look something like this. You have a released version, then you do changes, then you release the next version, then you do changes, and so on. And well, they are not, it makes tying your changes to tickets hard. It makes working concurrently hard. So let's try to make that a little more flexible by pulling those changes that lead to the next version into a feature branch. That would look something like this. Pull a change, you pull the current version into a feature branch, make the changes, and then merge it back to main. And once you have done that, now you can start doing concurrent development, which would look something like that, where even though version 2 hasn't been published yet, the work on version 3 can start already. And that works really great until there is something that is called a merge conflict, where a change in feature 1 that got published in version 2 conflicts with a change that happened in feature 2. Now, I have to say, modern version control systems are really good at making those merge conflicts rare. Even if you change the same file, if you change in different places in that file, they can usually figure out that this is not a merge conflict and do the merge by themselves. But let's say there is a merge conflict. Now you have a broken version in main and you're holding everybody else up. That is not a good place to be. So how do we get around that? Instead of merging into main, what you should do is merge into another branch. Now, many people might pull out that merge event into a merge branch or into a CI branch. So now I merge into the CI branch, I run my CI environment, and only if CI passes, it gets merged into main. Which is good. Well, it is better. However, if your version is broken and you merge it into CI broken, now CI is broken, now you're still holding everybody else up. So you didn't really win anything. So how do we get around that? Well, we merge in the other direction. Instead of merging into CI, before we are going to merge into CI, we merge from CI into our feature branch. Do all the merge logic and conflict resolution in the feature branch, and only if your CI pipeline or your tests pass in the feature branch, you merge it back into the CI branch. Now, depending on how fast you work, depending on how much is going on, you might run into this situation where you merge everything into feature 2, and by the time you get around to merge it into CI, somebody else has merged something into CI, and then you have a conflict again. That is annoying, but at least you're still isolating your problem from CI if you do the same thing again. And the nice thing is that it will tell you at this point that something changed and that your change is not compatible anymore. So you just repeat that step, merge the new version into your feature branch, resolve the merge conflict, and then go again. And hopefully you didn't get another bug fix inserted in there that will keep you going forever. But again, those situations are rare because in general, modern source or version control systems are really good at doing those merges automatically. Now, what you're looking at here is a pretty good branching strategy. However, if you now look at main and CI, they're basically the same. So we are not really winning anything. And because we are now not merging, we're sure we are not merging broken stuff into CI anymore, we don't really need that CI branch anymore. So what I see people do, or what I would recommend instead, is you work in main, you merge into main with those same safeguards, and then when you're ready to release a version that is in main, then you merge it into release. And that might be after other manual tests have run, like a security test, a penetration test, or something like that. Or it might be just because you're releasing on a schedule that does not align with putting new version on the main branch. So that gives you a little more flexibility as to what a release is. You could, in theory, achieve that too with tags, but this is actually a pretty good way to handle it. Now, the nice thing about this is that all the merges from main to release are automatic, because nothing changes on release unless it comes from main. The other nice thing is that this process gives us the possibility to now do pull requests instead of merges. So all the merges from main to release can be done automated, and I would say they should be done automated with the press of a button. This version is ready to be released. I press a button, the merge happens, and you can put other things in such a pipeline, that like publishing the artifact to a public artifact repository, or whatever your process is. Pull requests. Pull requests are just like merges. However, they allow for additional safeguards. So what I recommend is that you lock down the main branch. Nobody can change main unless it comes through a pull request from a feature or bug fix branch. And that pull request can automatically kick off CI, and you can set it up in a way that it can only go forward if your CI pipeline passes. You can also put in that a peer needs to review the changes. And you can select if any team member or only more senior team members can do those pull requests. I recommend anybody in the team should be able to do that, but it must be a person separate from the person that worked on the feature branch, just to get that second pair of eyes on there. And then, yes, if you do this all correctly, it will tell you in the pull request, CI passed, the peer review passed, and there's no merge conflict. So the merge should be pretty straightforward. And if there suddenly is a merge conflict, you can just push it back in the peer review. So the process is a peer reviews your change, and if they're okay with it, executes the merge or kicks it back if there is an issue with a review, or because there's now a new change on main that creates a conflict. So this is a solid branching strategy that is addressing all the concerns, all the reasons we have to use source control in the first place. It is flexible, it isolates people from each other, but people can work in parallel. And your main branch, well, your main version of truth lives, is always passing the continuous integration checks. This is all I have for you today. I hope you liked what you saw. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you liked it and would like to see more content like this, please subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a fabulous day.